A wave of anti-ICE protests have rocked Los Angeles as hundreds of demonstrators take to the streets and gathered near the detention center. The move was sparked by the fatal shooting of Ringgood by an ICE agent on January 7. Footage shows protesters gathering with signs and chanting slogans against ICE before later clashing with police outside the federal detention center in Los Angeles. Officers issued a dispersal order declaring the crowd an unlawful assembly as tensions escalated. Local media reporting that several activists were detained. The protest was held as part of a national weekend of action, local media reports. Thousands flocked to Powderhorn Park in Minneapolis to denounce the fatal shooting of Ringgood by ICE officer, demanding an end to the immigration crackdown at the local community. Footage shows protesters gathering with signs and chanting slogans against ICE. Good was shot and killed during a confrontation with federal agents involved in an immigration operation, prompting widespread outrage and protests. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz hit back, urging the public not to believe the propaganda machine and calling for full, fair and expeditious investigation to ensure accountability and justice. Hundreds of ICE agents have been deployed to Minneapolis as part of the White House intensified immigration enforcement drive.
ICE in my community. ICE is not making us safer. ICE is creating chaos. ICE is going to our schools at dismissal time, creating violence, creating terror, creating fear. ICE killed an innocent woman. We do not want them here. My ancestors immigrated to this country. At one point in time, my ancestors were new here. They had accents. They had to learn English. They had to adjust. We need to support everyone here doing the same. I am for peaceful, nonviolent protest. I am not well informed about the clashes last night, but ICE is just bringing more violence and chaos to our community. We don't want them here. They need to listen to us. The government needs to listen to us. We are the people. We are the voice. They are supposed to serve us, all of us. I find some hope in our unity and our solidarity and all these people coming together. There are hundreds and thousands of people out here today coming together because we want to support our community, everyone in our community, no matter what their background, no matter where they come from and when they came to this country.
Well, Angela Fobbs joins me now to discuss the reaction so far from the streets on anti-ICE agents. She's the Director of Strategic Initiatives, Democrats Abroad. Good to have you this weekend, Fobbs. You were out there also protesting or mourning Ringgood, speaking about the weekend of action. How will Democrats now ensure that ICE agents Jonathan Ross is held accountable for Ringgood's death, and what measures will the party take to prevent similar incidents in the future?
The government of Minnesota, which is run by Democrats, is continuing their investigation of this killing, and they will probably bring charges on the assailant, John, whatever his name was, the ICE agent that did this. As you mentioned, I was just not at a protest, but at a vigil with about 800 people, 800 Americans, who were all disgusted and horrified and shocked at the way that Ringgood was murdered in the streets of Minnesota by an ICE agent. So everyone is horrified by this, and the first step is to punish the murderer, and then the next step would be to hold some hearings and hold the Department of the DHS hold them accountable, and ultimately we should abolish ICE.
What is your reaction? I know we've talked about ICE several times, right? We've discussed how that deploying them to some states, with some states governors have pushed back, especially for Tim Walz, with regards having ICE agents and all of that in their states. But First of all, what's your reaction to Trump's, statement about it being in self-defense? And do you believe ISIS tactics, including the use of mask and, surprise raids, contribute to a culture of fear and violence? And would you support reforms to address the concerns?
Well, we can address some of the concerns by removing the mask, making them wear identification, and training them a bit better or a lot better so that they understand that their job isn't to harass US citizens. Their job actually isn't to harass immigrants either, but they need more training. And the ICE agent that is responsible for shooting Renee Good, he is dangerous. And there are a lot of dangerous people in ICE right now.
Your reaction to Trump and J.D. Vance's comments with regards to what had happened? I'm sure you saw the video. The clips has been circulating as regards how she tried to drive away. What's your comments on their reaction talking about Trump, J.D. Vance?
Well, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are both well-known liars, and they have manipulated their MAGA base to believe that that somehow Renee Good was at fault. But she actually received two different commands from two different ICE agents right there. One was get out of here, and the other was get out of the car. So she actually was trying to turn around, if you look at the video. And so she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong. And I'm not actually sure how, if somebody shoots you point blank in the head, that you're to blame for it. Again, Donald Trump, a well-known liar. J.D. Vance, also a liar, maybe not as well known. He's known for other, disreputable things.
And will Democrats also push for increased congressional oversight of ICE, including regular hearings and investigations into allegations of misconduct? Because that is one of the points that they keep talking about that's missing on, talking about conversations like this. Because I know you also mentioned just a couple of minutes ago how that, Congress, it seems like Congress's approvals isn't something that's on the front burner here. It seems the administration acts out of impulse.
Yes, the administration is completely impulsive, and the Republican Congress, the Republican heads of the Congress, who the Republicans are in charge of the Congress right now, they don't do anything to push back against Trump's misbehavior, his wild ideas, his weird statements, or anything. They just go along with it. So yes, we definitely need more oversight in the Congress. And we need some Republicans, not just Democrats, to step up and say something about the terrible things that are happening in the United States, and that the harm that he's causing to not just immigrants, but to the American people. And if we don't change this soon, it's hard to imagine how we'll continue as a country.
Right. Thank you so much, Angela Fobbs, for joining us from Mainz in Germany there to talk about the issue. I mean, it's spreading like wildfire, the protest with regards to the death or the killing of Renee Good. Appreciate you for the time.